Hey, high school hockey fans, it's time for another edition of This Week in Wisconsin Prep Hockey. 2 straight weeks now. We got a full panel here between myself, Del Scanlon, Bill Sr., Bill Jr., and plenty going on. As things start to heat up a little bit, teams starting to get some games in. We'll cover the top 6 here in a little while. We'll discuss that, how we're going to go about that. But right now, let's go to our games of the week. Bergler was at Lakeland at Mosinee, and Dell was at USM in Coulee Region, which turned out to be a real barn burner. Let's start with Bergler. You had Lakeland at Mosinee, a matchup of a sectional final from last year.
Yes, it was. These two teams, well, actually played 3 times last year, but the 2 important times at the end of the season were for the Great Northern Conference Championship, which Mosinee won. 3-0, I believe it was. And then 2 weeks later, they played again for the right to go, or for the Division II, Section 2 championship, and the right to go to the state tournament. And Lakeland won that game. This one started out, looked like it was going to be Mosinee all the way. They scored on two shots, one from the top of each faceoff circle. And Lakeland had snuck in a goal from right in front of the net, but it was 2-1 after one period. But then Mosinee struck early in the second period for 2 more, made it a 4-1 game. Lakeland called their timeout at that point to try to settle things down, and apparently it did settle things down, because Lakeland scored 3 times in that period, and then scored the game winner early in the third period, and then hung on for dear life after that. Their goal, they've been alternating to what you would probably call backup goalies, because their all-conference goalie for the past 2 seasons, Max Misizva, injured himself playing football, and has not played a game yet for Lakeland. So Andrew Malson played in this game and looked a little shaky at the start, but rallied, gathered himself up, and made a lot of stops during that second period. And I think he stopped, I think it was 16 shots in the third period, and allowed Lakeland the time and the opportunity to battle back. And they took that game 4-1. It was a very exciting game. Had to thank the people at Mosinee. They were concerned for my safety. I have a little step stool type ladder that allows me to get just over the glass, so I can take pictures without having to go through the glass. And apparently they didn't think that was safe. My big old melon, being up there over the glass. They have an area that they reserve for media types, and I guess that includes us. So they had me move over there, where I was still exposed, but a little bit farther back from the glass. So anyway, they were concerned, this fat old guy standing on this ladder, I'm sure he's going to hurt himself. So they made me do that, but that was good. It was an exciting game. Good turnout in Mosinee for it. A lot of Lakeland fans down there too. And Lakeland takes the first stage of this. I don't know if this is going to be the way that this conference turns out. These 2 teams, Rhinelander seems to be tough in the Great Northern. Hard to say, but these 2 teams have been kind of the cream of the crop there for a while. Turn it over to Dell then for his girls game.
Thanks, Bergler. Girls game was interesting. Both teams were coming in off of tight games on a Friday night. USM had a 2-1 overtime victory against Bay Area, while the Coulee Region Cyclones, formerly known as the Onalaska Hilltoppers, had a 3-1 win over Western Wisconsin on Friday night. While on Saturday, they met in Onalaska at the Omni, And it was a tight game. Both teams had 5 penalties called on them throughout the game. And the first period saw Coulee Region score first on a power play goal. And then almost 3.5 minutes later, that was answered with a power play goal by University School to end up the first period tied at 1. Shots were fairly even in the first period. 9 shots by USM, 6 by the Cyclones. Second period, 53 seconds left in the period. USM scores a power play goal, despite being outshot in the period 20-5. Third period, 2 more power play goals, 1 by each team. And USM's gets out of town with a 3-2 victory on the road. All 5 goals were power play goals in this game. Their Cyclones outshot USM 40-20, but it was the Wildcats getting out of Onalaska with the victory. And so that's how, you have one where you fought for it all the way through and come out strong in the end. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to MJ as he starts to talk and get us ready for our players of the week.
Our players of the week. Yes, Bergler is going to tell us about our Radisson Madison players of the week on the boys and girls side. Bill, take it away.
Thanks, MJ. On the boys' side, our Radisson Madison player of the week is from the Madison East La Follette East Side Lakers co-op, and he is Simon Coulee. On Tuesday against I think they played the Janesville JV. He had 2 goals in a 6-3 loss, but on Saturday he beat Oshkosh. He had 6 goals and 2 assists. So I guess he did need help. Somebody had to actually tap in the rebounds on those other 2 shots. 6 goals and 2 assists in an 8-6 win over Oshkosh. So Simon Coulee of the East Side Lakers is our Radisson Madison boys player of the week. And on the girls' side, we go all the way up to the northwest corner. Autumn Cooper of Superior. On Thursday, she had 2 assists in a 2-0 win over Duluth Marshall. And on Saturday, 2 goals and 3 assists in a 6-1 win over the Eau Claire Area Stars. So Autumn Cooper of the Superior Spartans is our girls Radisson Madison players of the week. And even this year with the state tournament moving, the Radisson Madison is still the official state tournament headquarters of Wisconsin Prep Hockey, because actually it's kind of equidistant between the Alliance Center and the Capitol Ice rink. So we're good.
All right, sounds great. Congratulations to both those players, Simon Coulee from the Eastside Lakers and Autumn Cooper of Superior. Both had very nice weeks, and congratulations to them. Our top 6. What's going on with our top 6? Well, Bill Jr., this is where you come in because you're the one who's really good with numbers between all the rest of us.
Well, the easiest number is that it doesn't start till next week. So that's good. That gives me another week to actually finish the form that goes out to the coaches, make sure all the teams are correct in D1 and D2, and that the new teams that came back this year are added. And, the Onalaska Hilltopper girls get renamed as the Coulee Region, whatever Dell said they were. I literally just forgot it. I was looking at it a second ago, but
The clones, we call them the clones.
the Cyclones. So, we'll get that all taken care of, and we'll have the week of December 12th, usually second week of December is when we have it. So we'll have it again then this year for the top 6. I just want to, if any players, are coming into the season all dinged up because of football, just like to say cross country, volleyball, and soccer are all available as fall sports. Much less likely to send you into the hockey season injured than football is. Seems like every year, a couple teams have got guys, sitting out a good chunk of the season because of football. Cross country, volleyball, soccer, they're all right there. And they're all high cardio, get you ready for hockey season without as much chance of injury.
You forgot tennis.
But less.
Junior, you forgot tennis.
I think tennis is a spring sport.
Tennis, boys tennis is a spring sport. Girls tennis is a fall.
Okay.
sport. It's a fall.
Okay. Okay.
Well, then you forgot soccer.
I said soccer.
No, he said say soccer.
I said
Okay.
soccer, volleyball, and cross country. I
Okay.
didn't realize boys volleyball was a WIAA sport.
Yeah.
A lot of schools, that was one that quite a few schools ended up dropping back in the 70s. I know that it was there.
Yeah, I was looking up, like, football players are always injured. Like, could they be playing something else in the fall? And I looked at the boys volleyball. It's one division, it's one division, 8 sectionals, and none of them has more than like 9 teams. So it's a small sport. So that might not be an option at your school, but soccer and cross country are pretty much everywhere.
Is boys golf in the spring too?
Yes.
Del says yes, it is. Okay.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to play the state tournament because the courses are all covered in snow.
Well, the girls is in the fall though.
All right. Go ahead, Del.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right. Our upcoming games of the week. On Saturday, the Marathon Cup Championship will be at DC Everest. One of the Berg men will hold the doors open to make sure the rink's cold enough. And on Saturday, St. Croix Valley Fusion travels all the way up to Superior. Dell's going to go all the way to the top of the state, right up where that star shines right above him. And it's going to check out the girls' game up there and do a story on that one. So that's what we have for our games of the week for next week, for this coming week.
As MJ alluded to, our rink at Everest is semi-broken. The ice resurfacer, the Olympia, apparently had to be pushed off the ice. I haven't seen that. Had to be pushed off the ice, and we've got compressor problems that aren't going to be fixed for several months. So all the ice level doors at Greenheck Fieldhouse are currently wide open, letting in the cold air, making sure the ice stays ice, because it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough last Sunday when I was there with the mites.
Does it look like the ice has been resurfaced since then?
Yeah, and it got resurfaced after our practice. The Olympia is up and running again.
Okay.
The ice it made more snow than it normally does. Today, when I was on there with the mites, we had practice just before our podcast, but it was back to normal. The rink felt good. I believe they turned off the heaters for the fan section for now. So it's getting close to being a proper ice rink instead of the warm ice rink it normally is. Just because it's nice and cold outside, so they can open up the doors, turn off the heaters, make sure the ice stays ice. But yeah, Saturday we'll be there for the Marathon Cup Championship. For anybody who's not in the area and doesn't know what the Marathon Cup is, that's Wausau West, DC Everest, Mosinee, and Wausau East, which is now Wausau East Merrill Co-op. They play the Marathon Cup every year. I guess, for bragging rights on, the best hockey team in Marathon County. It has been Wausau West's championship to lose for many, many, many years now.
But at least as long as we've been doing this.
That long.
Yeah, if you go to Marathon Park, Wausau's rink, they have a Wausau West sign above one section of stands and a Wausau East sign above the other one, where they list off like Marathon Cup championships, and they've had to add extra boards to the wall to paint on more years for Wausau West. It's just full.
Did East ever win it?
They've won it several times, but not recently.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's our top 6 roundup on that. That's our players of the week.
When's the
Recap
last time
their-
Superior Girls got a game of the week?
This is the first time I've been up there for one of their
And
games.
it's not even a road game. It's in Superior.
Yes.
Have we ever gone to Superior for a game of the week? I know we've gone there for like sectional stuff, but have we ever gone to?
I think Bergler's gone up there for a boys' side. game of the week.
I don't think so.
Was he visiting his mom and decided to take in a hockey game?
But I would like to know what's going on in Superior this weekend. I couldn't find a hotel room for after the game. So I'll be actually,
Oh,
so the game gets done. I have to be in Chautauqua on Sunday for a meeting. And so that's what, it plays in nice. The second weekend of the month, I'm up in Chautauqua for meetings. So makes it nice for, if I'm up that way and there's a game going on that looks interesting, I might as well get up there and take it in. And it is going to be nice to actually be able to give Superior a game of the week on their home ice.
was up there 2 summers ago. That's the only time I've ever been to Superior. Trying to think of the hotel we stayed in. It was right there on the lake. Yeah. What is that? Okay, that one.
Barker's Island.
That's exactly what she just said.
And
Did you check with them, Del?
I checked up there and a few different ones, but I've been up to Superior when my youngest boy played for RWD and everything. They would do their summer practice up in Superior and stuff. And then of course I've been through there when my daughter played hockey up at Rainy River Community College. Made the trip passed through there all the way up into International Falls, Minnesota for hockey.
Oh my goodness, that's a ways up there in National Falls. All right, well, we're
Born in International Falls.
what's that?
I was born in International Falls.
Really?
Yep.
So MJ, I hear you got some final thoughts going on.
Well, my one final thought just left me as my dog, who is recording this, has decided that it's time to bring her toy to me and it's time for us to play tug and stuff. She's finally left the room. I'm very happy about that. But our final thought I have is about score sheets. I've had some that have been delivered to me, just not completed, or when we go and add the sheet into the computer, we got missing player numbers for penalties or missing goal scores, stuff like that, missing shots of the period. Please make sure that you get your score sheets completed as best as possible so we can load that in and we don't have to chase down scores and stuff or penalty box servers because of this whole thing. So if we could ask that you guys just make sure you get that fully filled out, we would much appreciate it.
And just to be clear, MJ's talking about the paper sheet. We're seeing paper sheets that aren't completed, and that's like against the rules. Like not our rules, like rules like hockey. The refs are supposed to sign those things because they're complete and accurate. If you have goals without goal scorers or periods without shots recorded, I mean, no offense to the volunteers who's doing it, but you're not doing your job in the score booth. If it happened and the ref, signals, 15 from 13 and 12, you put that on the score sheet. We're seeing paper sheets that are incomplete, and that's really not okay. That's not a Wisconsin Prep hockey thing. That's just a general hockey. That's not okay.
One other thing, and we talked about this a little earlier, guys, before we started recording. We do understand that we have a lot of new coaches this year for the different teams. If you guys have any questions or need any assistance on being able to get score sheets entered and everything, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help with that. We want to make sure that we get the records up there correctly, for conference standings, overall, how many games you played and everything. And then make sure that the players actually get the credit for their penalties, and their goals and assists. And I'm sure the goalies like to see how many saves they had and stuff. But, and yes, MJ, I saw you laugh when I said their credit for their penalties. I do have had players come off the ice and say, how many penalty minutes did I get this game? So, there are those that take the pride in their penalty minutes.
Or I used to have ones when I worked the scorers table in Janesville, they'd come to the box and how many penalties is that on me? Well, it's 3, one more and you're done. Okay. And they'd sure enough, they'd go out there and they'd get that 4th one. Never failed.
I just want to clarify that Dell and MJ may be more than happy to answer your question and stuff. I would merely be happy to. Not more than happy, just happy to. I think with me, more than happy is going to put me over the edge.
It's just how you are.
If
Yes.
you want him to be more than happy, you need to give him some bourbon.
Yeah, that usually helps. So anyways, the score sheet stuff, if we could get that covered, great. That would be fantastic. And I know one thing that I also wanted to mention, go out on your rosters that you've entered on the website and please make sure the players' numbers are up to date. Because I've had some of that come across where I had a player who was put down for a goal and there was nobody by that number. So that's something that, we got to go out and chase. And if we guess, it's might not be right. So just make sure that the rosters are correct, numbers are correct, and the correct player is attached to that one. That would be fantastic. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like sitting here scoring, entering game sheets. Doesn't bother me.
I don't mind it and everything, especially, working from home, I get some free time after I'm done with work where I'm able to do it. But the one other thing that we need to kind of get the word out about is the holiday tournament season is rushing in on us really quick. And if your teams are participating in the holiday tournament, if you guys could get us those schedules, it'd be greatly appreciated so that we can kind of keep track on as to what's going on over the holidays.
Yeah, if you have the brackets, if the brackets are set, I mean, most of you only know the first round of games, but if you have send us the brackets so we can. We have a section on the site where we put all that up there and we keep it going. We keep it updated during the tournament. So, get us those brackets as soon as you can. Plus, we have to schedule our time. We're trying to cover as much of these tournaments as we can.
Yeah, if you tell us on December 22nd about a tournament on December 27th, we're probably not going.
Yep. So that's a couple weeks in advance. That'd be awesome. My question, when you got like a team like the Eastside Lakers playing the JV schedule and they beat a varsity team, how does that go down? Does that go down on the varsity team's record?
Yep.
It goes down on the Eastside Lakers record.
Yeah,
not
as a
not Janesville varsity record. No, it does not list.
No, Janesville was a JV game. I'm talking about when they played Oshkosh. Oshkosh is a varsity team. Does that loss go against their record?
Yeah, because they're not playing a pure JV schedule. They have Milton on their schedule. They've got Baraboo Portage on their schedule. They're playing a mixed schedule this year. So the East Side Lakers, while they are playing some JV games, as far as I can tell, they are still a full team.
I see why they do it though. I mean, it's not going to do them any good or their opposing team any good unless you're playing Verona twice. What is either team going to get out of this? Nothing. So I'm all for it. I just didn't know how it goes down record wise, as if they're playing a varsity team.
And they are still, I mean, they're still a tournament bracketed team, a tournament assigned team. So their games count. The games that they play against JV teams don't count for stats and scoring and stuff, but the games that they play otherwise, they still count.
So when you say they're a bracketed team, does that mean then when it comes playoff times they have to play?
Well, they
They
can
get
opt
to, they get to play,
to
yes.
get to play. Yes, they're on the WIA 2023 boys hockey assignment list, Division 1, Section 3, just as they've always been.
Okay. I didn't know
MJ,
exactly.
MJ,
What's
you got your ear to the ground a little more about some of the hockey teams over around the Milwaukee area. What do you know about Kenosha?
You know, one thing I've heard about Kenosha is I've heard they had some kids stay home. They had some kids that didn't go south and go play in Illinois or the Chicago area. They decided to stay and play for Kenosha, and it's making a difference. This is a much improved team, and yeah, they've got some wins. They got a couple losses, but this team, you just not one of those where you're going to say, you know, it's going to be an easy one. No, they're pretty competitive, and it's going to be fun to watch them because that team in that area has just been so down for so many years. So to see when an area like that is competitive, it makes the rest of the state look better as well.
I talked to their old coach, J.R. Litke,
Yeah,
Yeah.
coach for many years.
he said he had to spend all fall recruiting.
Keeping his players.
Not like, recruiting, not going to other schools and trying to steal players, but just recruiting Kenosha kids to stay and play for their high school team rather than going down to Chicago.
Yeah. He said his biggest deal as a coach was getting his own kids that went to his high school to play for their team rather than going and playing club hockey somewhere. That was his biggest challenge as a coach. Wasn't the parents or the ice. They're dealing, with the actual game strategy and coaching and all that. No, it was getting his own players to play because they'd come up through Kenosha Youth Hockey or what, I don't know what the association is there, and then they'd go play AAA somewhere.
Yeah, the association's there, and Kenosha. You look at them through the youth levels. I mean, there's some years where they've really fielded some pretty good teams at the youth levels, and they've played in some state tournaments, and I can remember a couple of years here they played in a state tournament here in Janesville, and they took second to Wanakee. So it's not like that they don't have an association that brings players through, because they do. It's just a matter of they're not staying. I mean, if they're talented enough, obviously they're going somewhere else. But you got a couple players now, and I don't know any names. I wasn't there when they played, but you got a couple players now who all of a sudden have said, you know what, let's stay here and play. And it's putting together wins. It's putting together, a more of a memorable season other than the one they had a couple of years ago when it was just god awful. So to see them be competitive and get a couple wins and, do some things other than just be a doormat, it's good to see. And like I said, it's good for everybody. High school hockey in Wisconsin is when one of the teams that's, been down is all of a sudden starting to win again.
And obviously, it's in our name, Wisconsin prep hockey. We would love it if no players ever went and played full season AAA. Before and after, that's great, but full season, no, we're not about that. And we'll hang our hats on, Joe Pavelski and Cole Caulfield and those guys who, like, especially Pavelski, 3 years at Spash, won a state tournament. He's now the highest scoring Badger ever to play in the NHL. Passing Chris Chelios, who played in the NHL, I believe, at last check for 83 years. So,
No, he played until he was 83, but he didn't start until he was like 20 or 22.
We'd like, those, you can stay in high school and you can still move to the next level. The recruiting pitch that some of those AAA teams give you is really strong, but if you're a great hockey player, people tend to find you, especially now. I mean, it's not the same as it was in the pre-internet days. If you're a great hockey player, they'll find you.
I would totally agree with that. And the thing was, Joe Pavelski, he only played 3 years at Spash. His senior year, he went and played in the USHL, but You know what? He was just that good. He won a
that's
state
not-
championship. What more did he need to do?
That's not
He had that opportunity to take
that's
it.
not the Caps or the Chicago Mission or
No,
some other U19. He was at the next level at that point. He was, in junior hockey. He wasn't playing AAA high school level hockey at that point. He had moved on. I mean, that's not the same thing as going to play AAA somewhere.
it's funny. I was watching a video on Twitter today of the Montreal Canadiens team entering somewhere, and you see these couple tall guys. All of a sudden, here's this little guy carrying a Tim Hortons cup. It's like, oh, that must be Cole Caulfield. And sure enough, you could see that he is much shorter than the rest of them. But man, that kid can
Just
score.
as an example, how often in the last 15 years, 20 years, has Team Wisconsin U19 beaten the Madison Capitals to move to the next tournament? It's pretty regularly. I'm pretty sure they win the state tournament for Tier 1 U19 more than the Caps do. And they go play in the national tournament. I think they've beaten the Caps and the Admirals more than they've lost to them.
Go ahead, MJ, because I'm going to move on to another subject. So
Well, I got.
I just want to know.
I just got a quick follow up on the Cole Caulfield thing. Former Wisconsin prep hockey photographer was in Columbus a week and a half ago and took in Montreal Canadiens at the Columbus Blue Jackets game. And his report on Cole Caulfield is that he doesn't even think about playing defense.
He's not paid to.
Everybody in the NHL is you got to play some defense.
But what
I
did
think he
what did I
plays
send
as
you
much
the other day?
defense.
Cole Caulfield's going to get paid.
I believe Cole Caulfield plays as much defense as Martin St. Louis expects him to.
Yeah, but Cole Caulfield's going to get paid here, guys. I read it. I mean, they're working on something big with him, so I'm very interested to see in the NHL. Is he going to get one of those 7-8 year contracts? Maybe.
Our defenseman also reported that on a defensive zone faceoff, Cole Caulfield lined it up on the wing slot in the center, and the defenseman, lined up right behind him, a good foot taller than him. And it looked like they were spooning. Cole Caulfield is not a tall man.
No, but could you imagine him out there with somebody like Zdeno Chara? I don't know, but man, it was just funny to see him walking in. He had the beanie on and the nice jacket, and got the coffee in his hand, and he's made the big time.
I've seen a couple Caulfield jerseys on the ice at Everest Mite practice this year. The kids don't wear their game jerseys for practice; they just wear whatever practice jersey they want. And some kids wear NHL jerseys. I like when I see the Caulfield ones. I haven't seen a Pavelski yet. I saw a Tarasenko and I wanted to kick him off the ice.
Oh my goodness. Cole Caulfield needs to come on the show once. I would love to have him on. Maybe he does someday. Maybe somebody can reach out to him or something.
I'm sure his schedule's pretty full.
We'll accommodate him. We will accommodate him. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Del. I mean, they're on the road a lot, so. All right. Well, that's
I did have one more thing, MJ.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
The one thing that I did want to bring up is during the season, we know that a lot of the high school teams have awareness games for different things where they recognize. I know that December 22nd, there's a big awareness game going on down in Beloit by the Rock County Fury, the mental health awareness game. But if you guys have an awareness game or a game where you're recognizing something around town, let us know about those. That's something that plays into when we're looking at picking our games of the week. And, we love it when teams are promoting their community and supporting their community in that way. So let us know about what's going on.
And even if it's not going to be a game of the week because we can't be there or whatever, if you have like a poster that goes up around town or a flyer or something, we will post that on the website. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll send it out on Twitter. We'll do all the things. We're more than happy to. If you want to write something up about your awareness game, we'll do that too.
Once again, I will just be happy to. Not more than. But yeah, last year we got a 2-for-1 out of it in Hudson. The boys and the girls both had a cancer awareness game on a Saturday afternoon. We went over for.
You were just happy to go over. You weren't.
I was happy to go.
Beyond happy.
Had a lovely
Well, we got-
More than happy.
we had a lovely conversation with Davis Drewisky. That was pretty cool.
Well, we're gonna put MJ's hair on the line for one of these games this year.
What?
What hair?
Well, there's still a little bit there, not
We
much.
could do a game where if they'd raise enough money, we'll shave MJ's back.
Oh my God. Let's start this whole show over. Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that.
All right, we won't shave MJ's whole back. We will just shave the winner's initials in MJ's back.
The final score. Oh my goodness. Where did this all go wrong? Guys, anything else you want to add without making fun of me that you want to add? Yeah,
Not if you're going to limit it like that, no.
No, that caveat's too much.
I say I shut you guys up there, didn't I? All right, well, time to take us home. I would say so. All right. So for Dell, the Bully Bergs, since they make so much fun of me, I'm Mike Hammett. Next week, right back here, we'll have that top 6. Maybe we'll have Cole Caulfield on This Week in Wisconsin Prep Hockey.